Now, we've all seen lots of people sell stuff online which just doesn't really have much soul to it. It might be a really cheap, really basic product. You know that it really doesn't have who they are inside that product. And that's fine. We all need to do stuff to make money. But I genuinely want to help people who are passionate about the thing that they're selling. My passion is to help people sell theirs. That effectively, I think, is my purpose in life. And now that I've worked out what it is, I really have to connect with more people who are the owners of their own business and the service that they are trying to sell. Because after working in advertising for a really, really long time, what I realized is I was spending a huge chunk of my life to help companies that were already very, very rich make more money. These were billion-dollar companies that were making billions of dollars per year, and all I'm doing is helping them make more money. When what I actually want to do, and what you probably want to do as well, is actually make an impact on people's lives. So the thing that you're trying to do, the thing you're trying to share, might have more heart in it. You might have been thinking about this idea for a long time. You might not even have started it yet, but you genuinely want to, and you're trying to work out where to start. So it's my job here to share everything that I've learned about making content and growing an audience so that you can find yours. And you might look at my content right now on TikTok and think, oh gosh, he's only got 14,000 subscribers. Why would I possibly follow someone who's only got this many people following them? This is the point. You are going to start from a really low number because you're going to start from scratch. You're going to create a new account, or you might already have an account where you have a few hundred followers. And what you want to do is scale from there. So what I'm doing is documenting my journey of starting and growing my channel from these low numbers to get it bigger. Because the thing that I feel really foolish about is I started my YouTube account back in, I think, 2007 or 2008, but I wasn't uploading content to it regularly. And I'm kind of kicking myself in the foot now because I, at the time, knew video production. I was shooting content. I was making TV commercials, and I had all the skill and experience that I could have poured into a YouTube channel, but I didn't know how to turn up as me. I thought I had to package myself as something else so that people would actually resonate with me, instead of realizing I'm fine just the way that I am, and you are fine just the way you are. So our job together is to work out this content game, share what we're doing, document the process, build and publish so people can see what we're doing. So what I'm doing here is going from sharing one piece of content per day for an entire year on TikTok, which is what I've just done, to then start sharing these longer form podcast and YouTube videos every single week, which have a lot of different topics in them. And by doing so, I can take this content and break it up during the week into these smaller, short videos that I share. Now, the only downside about this is that the content will have less variety visually because I'm sitting in the same place. I look the same all the time. Now, I can probably swap out the background because the idea of shooting this in front of this generic plain background is so I can shoot the content and then swap the background out so it looks different, or I can actually have a consistent background behind me if I'm recording this in a different place. Because at the moment, I'm a bit of a digital nomad. I'm traveling all over the world. So by having a generic background behind me, I can insert what I would like my home studio to look like, or what I would like my office to look like, or what it would look like if I had my perfect YouTube studio. So that's what I've got behind me. So what you can do is do exactly the same thing and decide to just start where you are. You might just want to start with blog articles. You might want to start with one YouTube video per week. You might want to do one video per day on TikTok or Instagram Reels, or whatever is the platform that you feel most comfortable with and that you feel resonates with your audience best. Now, this is my point. It doesn't matter which platform you are using. The principles of using and creating content are exactly the same because you're trying to develop an audience for you as a person, or the product you sell, or the service you offer. And the principles of doing and communicating this stuff is all the same. But the thing that I love about the way that advertising has changed in the last few years, especially with social media, is that you don't have to make ads that look like ads. You can actually talk to your customers, your potential customers, like people, like normal human beings, and just tell them about what you're offering. And that is essentially what I'm doing right now. I'm telling you about my skills, about what I'm offering, and you're resonating with them. You're finding these things interesting. So as I go through this process and I potentially offer a newsletter every week that you can subscribe to, or an ebook download that you could have, or a course that you could download for free, or a paid course, all of these things are potential things that you can buy into. Now, you might immediately get like the ick when I talk about selling a product. But the thing I really have to get through to you is that you sell yourself every single day. When you go to the job that you have right now, you saw that advertised and you basically competed with other people who were selling their skills as well to the employer. You sent your resume or your CV and you turned up to that job interview and you sold yourself in that job interview to get the job. And when you sign the contract, you agree in writing to sell your time for an entire year to that employer for a fee, which is effectively your salary. So the idea that you don't sell anything is completely false. You sell your time at 40 hours a week to an employer and they give you money for it. And this is the hardest thing, is if you are unlucky enough to be out of work for a period, it's really frustrating because you feel like no one's bought you, no one's purchased what you have to offer. And it's really hard to get that momentum back. And when you get that job interview and you get that job offer and you land it and you sign that contract, you're so excited because you have the security of knowing where that money is coming from. And of course, for many people, that's all they want. They just want that job security of that salary coming in, and that's all they need. They don't want the variety and the chaos of different amounts of money coming in each week or each month. And that's okay. There's periods in your life where you need that job security and that's what you want. But there's also periods in your life where you go, man, there's something more here. I really want to have my own business, have my own customers. I don't want to have a boss anymore. And so that's what I'm trying to help you to do. And as I said, there's lots of people who you can listen to about tips about business or tips about finance and growing your company, or tips about purely just advertising and running your ads on Meta. Those are all great. And you will already be listening into and subscribing to all of those people. The key thing that I want to talk about is the confidence that you need to build the momentum to be consistent to do this, the tips that I can give you that are useful around creating content, and the logical things that I understand about running a business and also setting up a business. Because I've been lucky enough through the process of doing advertising to work with literally hundreds of companies over the last 20 plus years. And I understand what their strategies are from quarter to quarter to make money, revenue, but also what they do to maximize their profit margin. And it's given me a really great set of skills to look at the types of businesses that people run to work out if they're going to be profitable before they even start. Because I've seen up close and personal these managers and these business owners and the challenges that they have, but also the marketing managers that work for gigantic corporations and the challenges that they have to go through to make the company profitable over a long period of time. And also the return on investment they expect from running an ad campaign. And the coolest part about social media now is you don't have to ask anyone's permission to upload content. You can get yourself a presence online and people can discover you at any time. You might have discovered me through a TikTok video or an Instagram reel or a YouTube short. And now you're finally discovering this podcast where I'm actually talking to you one-on-one. And that's the coolest part about this content, is because it's this one-on-one mechanism. And a lot of people really talk about a one-to-many broadcast process, but I don't think that's the way it is at all. When you are listening to a podcast, you're listening to one person. Sometimes there'll be two hosts and you're basically listening to a couple of people talk, but you're absorbing and consuming that content as an individual. We don't usually listen to content as a group. Maybe we might listen to a podcast in a car with a friend or a partner, but most of the time I honestly feel like we're consuming content as individuals. So if you want to sell what you have to an individual, potentially someone who can hire you or someone who can buy your product or someone who can buy your service, you get to use these platforms for free to actually transfer your knowledge and your passion about what you do to an audience.